Hey all, and this is the Lessons in Terror event. This is a Fire Slayer event and Immortal Killer. I've made up a few teams for this event. This is the team I will be using for guild bosses or anything with relatively low HP. And then I have a much more powerful team here. So let's start with the first team. This is just a basic older Slayer deck. 4 Slayer cards that are all Immortal Killer and Spawn Power Gems. And then this Commander card. The reason this card is on the team is because when you take damage, the attack is increased by 1200%. This is the card for the Killer skill. This is actually 4 stars now, so the Killer skill is 1000% on that, which is more than if you got the event deck only on 1 star. So that's a really good card now. Then another Power Gem spawner here. So it's all about this card really, as that boosts up the attack. You just have to take damage once, then use all the other cards. So that's a pretty straightforward deck. The more complicated deck is here. The idea behind this one is that you get 2 boosts. This one increases the damage by 2500%. Then you also have the boost from this card that increases the damage by 1200%. So the idea behind this deck is to get supercharged up after you've taken damage and then get both damage boosts. Then do massive damage, and I have done some really big hits with this. I've done over 1p. 1p is 1000 trillion. I don't know why it's called p, don't ask me that. Yeah, that's the basic deck. You need this card here to fill in all the gaps, and then you get the fire gems overlapping on the dark gems. And then that's when you start doing the damage. So with the relics, I do have 1 dark Immortal Killer relic at the end. Then the other 2 here are Fire Immortal. Then there's just 2 generic Slayer relics here. So that's a couple of ideas. You could also, if you're really struggling, just use an all dark deck. Something like this will be okay on guild bosses, but don't expect it to do that much damage, if I'm being honest, to higher solo bosses. Alright, so here we go with the actual event. It is another of the boys event. So you will see opponents that are not earth, like the one here, that's water that no one wants to attack. We do all have a unclaimed cloak as before. We're saving those up for the final day for a frenzy. So I have a diamond boss up here. This should be the perfect thing to test my decks on. So I'm going to start with the basic deck. I'll just show you what sort of damage this actually does. What defender skill has this got? This has got dodge. Dodge is countered by, I believe it's this card. Have a look. And that's Gem Silence. It's one of them. There we go. That's got the dodge counter on it. So that's pretty useful for this event just because of that. So I'm going to lock this boss now and give the teams a proper testing. With the first team, I won't do much damage to this, but it shows you how to use the deck. With the second team, I should have no problems whatsoever killing it. Well, with a bit of luck anyway. We will see. Right, here we go. Right. So a pretty straightforward deck to use. Turn 1, match anything. Turn 2, match anything. You take damage at this point, then you get that nice damage boost, then you can start dealing damage to the enemy. So that's doing maybe 40 trillion? So it's chipping away at the health. With this team, you have to attack after you have taken damage, though. Otherwise, you will hardly do any damage whatsoever. Right, there we go. It's a little bit better than the previous hit. This is still going to be a pretty slow process to take down this boss, though. I'll just show you what happens if you use your skills when you have not taken damage. So I won't use this turn, I'll use next turn. I'll show you the difference in damage. As you can see there, that's hardly anything now. So yeah, the trick to this team is to use all the skills immediately after you've taken damage. But this is not the deck I'm really going to be using much, except for really easy bosses. This is the good deck. If I get it right, it should do close to 2p damage. However, that requires me to get it right, which doesn't always happen. So on turn 1, you need to match all the fire gems. Fire gems become really difficult to match later on in the battle. Turn 2, match dark gems. Turn 3 again, just match anything. Turn 4 now, you need to use this card. Try and match as few gems as possible. And now you need to use one of these cards to fill in the gaps. So there we go. Now you can use this card and start stacking up the power gems. That wasn't ideal, however, there's 2 over here. Yeah, it did a bit of damage. It's not perfect. However, this does also rely quite a lot on luck, unfortunately. I'll try again now. Get one of these cards to fill in the gaps. Then the golems card. And this card to fill in the gaps. Then this hopefully to overlap. Let's see what this does. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So that's 350 trillion? Okay, it's not an ideal attack. However, it was enough to kill the boss. I really need a Carillion boss to give this a proper testing, though. Let's see what spawns. I'm going to hit this one, even though it's not my own boss. See what sort of damage I can do to it. Hopefully the boss won't be defeated before I even get in an attack. Now I believe this is also the Warden. I'm not 100% sure about that. But this is definitely a new enemy I've not seen before. So it's going to take me 4 turns before I can hit it. So I better hope no one else kills it before I get in my attack. Well, here we go. Well, supercharged is up. Start filling in those gaps. Oh, there's a couple nice ones over here. Let's try that. Oh, this could be really good. Oh, there we go. Well, that's about 1p in total. That may be enough to get me MVP on this boss. I don't know. Let's see if I can get another attack out before the boss is defeated. No, there we go. The boss is dead. But there we go. I managed to get MVP without actually getting 50% damage. So yeah, this deck is really, really effective. The problem is it relies on luck. So we'll see how I get on with this deck during the event. Alright, so now let's have a look at the event rewards. Firstly, the collection. So this is a Warden collection by the looks of it. Here's some of the rewards. Bastion shards, always welcomed. 3 wardens, well, they're probably going to be older wardens, so we'll be selling those for dust, no doubt. What else is there? I think there's a few extra wisps as well this time around. You don't get the cores as well with those, so they're not really that much use, if I'm being honest. Let's just go and claim these wardens and see what I actually get. So that's dust. Definitely dust. And dust. Yeah, they're all very old wardens, so they're definitely going to be sold. But let's have a look at the warden from this event. So once again, I am in Legends. I have been in Legends for like 4 events now. It's useful for Commander as the rewards are better if I manage to stay in Legends. Well, for me anyway, as I'm in quite a strong guild. So this is the Warden from the event. Adversarial Advisor. Yeah, that's quite difficult to say. So it has a defender skill of Might, which is not really that effective. However, the stats on it are good, as with all newer wardens, so it's up to you if you're going to use that or not. That's the sort of card that would probably be pretty useful near the middle or near the end of the defense, depending on how you want to use it. Alright, so now let's have a look at the actual event deck. This time I have not actually bought any tiers of any pack. I have a pretty decent team already, and it's near the end of the season, so any coins are not going to go towards a new ultra rare or master hero, since the coins are changed into loyalty coins at the end of the season. So let's have a look at this. The vault is slightly different this time around. I used to put an extra card on tier 3, but they seem to have moved that to tier 4 now, which kind of sucks if I'm being honest. They also added an extra relic to tier 5, so depending on how you feel about the deck and depending on how much you want to spend, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. Personally though, I'm not using any gems this event and saving for the next event. So let's go back out of here. So the card on tier 4, let's have a look. Creates 4 power gem 3s, doubled when ambushing. So it does 8 on turn 1 basically. So that's alright, it's nothing special, probably not worth chucking a lot of gems into just to get that. If we go on to the actual event deck though, let's have a look at the 2 cards. So yeah, this has the bonus attack buff on it. So this is actually an extremely powerful deck by the looks of it. Also has an attack bonus. Crikey, yeah, this deck looks extremely overpowered. This could be argued as one of the most overpowered decks I've actually seen. just because of that bonus attack. The bonus attack always does huge damage. This creates a lot of power gems as well. So yeah, if you have the coins to go for this deck, this is definitely one to consider, even though the previous deck was pretty good in GBG, so it is entirely up to you, but because this had the bonus attack on it, this is a hugely powerful deck. Crikey. Just imagine using this with the golems. Just imagine the sort of damage you would actually do with this. So finally, the boys event is still going on, as you're probably aware. I'm slightly confused though, as they haven't put anything new in here. You would expect some sort of new warden by now, or something different, considering this has been going on for a long time and you only needed around 20-ish points or so to get the light warden. It wasn't at the full 30, I got it before then. So this really needs updating with something else, but it seems like that's not going to happen, unfortunately. And that's about it for this event. I hope that was helpful. If you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to help. And thanks for watching.